Hello everyone, my name's FlareBlitzed here and welcome back to our lovely escape. In the last time around we managed to get to a majority of Mayu's endings along her route. There are some really obscure ones which I found out on Steam and they require some work to do along the lines of the common route, as it would be called. That is the route that we start off at the start of the game, which inevitably leads up to a route assigned to one of the three characters. But today, I know I said I was going to go for Alyssa in the previous episode's ending, but we're going to go for Alexis's one this time. I briefly look over my shoulder and notice that everyone seems to be heading back upstairs. I'll have a prawn tempura udon to go. Sure, I'll have that ready for you as soon as possible. Flare, right? Right. After paying, I decide to check out wherever Alexis is occupied with. The woman is staring straight out of the window, seemingly caught up in her own little world. Her expression is more serious than usual. When I notice her begin to frown and grind her teeth, I decide to speak up. Hey Alexis, what did you order? Oda and Guizo, remember? Oh right. I don't know where my head is today. Me neither. Alexis swiftly turns back to the window, gazing up at the clear blue sky. It truly is a gorgeous and pleasant afternoon. Let me just look out my window. No, it's grey. It's cloudy as far as the eye can see, but at least it's not raining. Still, this isn't like her. Alexis has always been the type to chat up a storm when presented the opportunity. In the end, despite my concerns, I decide to give her some space to think out whatever's occupying her mind. Around 20 minutes later, my order is finally called out. That does look delicious though. Before I could begin my climb upstairs, however, Mayu trips on the stairs. Her container of ramen flies out of her hands, chambering against the floor and spilling its content in every which way. The ground is covered with citrus-scented goodness and her skirt is peppered with unfortunate bright red flicks of soup. One of her ankles appear to be slightly twisted underneath her, but both painting a glimmer than reality picture. Everyone in the restaurant is suddenly in a commotion, uncertain of what to make of the situation. There seems to be a bad case of a bystander effect. Are you okay, Mayu? Jeez, that looked like a bad fool. Ah, what shall we do? Maybe help her? I don't know. What should we do? Okay, this is the worst part. Someone should help Mayu out. I don't waste any time. I volunteer myself for the task. My lunch can wait a bit longer. It's okay, guys. Go on ahead of us. I'll take care of this. Thank you, Flare. I'm glad to see you're such a stand-up person. Let me know as soon as you're back in the office. That won't happen. Come on, Alexis. You need to get straight back to work. Okay, if you say so, boss lady. I hope your ankle doesn't hurt too much, Mayu. One thing I've noticed is that Alexis and Mayu are the least likely ones to have a conversation, or not have a conversation at all. The two women manage to safely travel past a soupy puddle as I rush to the scene and crouch at Mayu's level. With her knees bent, she leans against the weight of her own arm to hold herself off of the floor. Here, I'll help you stand. I offer my hand, but Bruna only gives me an awkward blank stare. As she does. One might think I just said something outlandish. No, it's okay. I don't need your help, Flare. Are you sure? Yes, thank you. I'm fine on my own. The woman starts to get up but swiftly stumbles over herself once more. I immediately hop to her side to prevent her from toppling over. Sorry. There's no need to apologise. Stuff happens. Not to me. We must live a pretty good life then, huh? With Mayu's arm hanging around my neck, we inch our way up the stairs as carefully as we can. Skipping ahead of time. As we are aiming for Alexis, if we do You're Right, then that benefits Lissa. If we do the bottom one that insists on helping, that benefits Mayu. But Let It Go is like a neutral standing where it doesn't benefit anyone. You know what? I think you're right, Lissa. I'm glad to hear you're with me on this one. In any case, I think I'll go home. I'll see you both tomorrow. Feel better, Mayu. See you in the morning, Flare. Mayu doesn't respond verbally, but she does give me a nod before I turn around. Okie dokie. I head straight home and prepare dinner. I still can't help but worry about Mayu after what happened today. No, no, purge before Flare. She has it under control. It's like Lisa said, I need to trust that everything will be fine. Well, maybe I'll just text Lisa to make sure she got home safely. Hopefully, she won't be too annoyed that I'm texting her this late. I'll whip up my phone to ask whether things are okay before finishing my dinner. Sounds good to me. Ordering the top one? We shall do that. I'll get me your wacky don, please. Come on, right up. I've seen Alexis order this a few times before, so it must be good. She once scuffled down 3 bowls all by herself. In fact, she barely finished the last one before the lunch break ended. Whoa. After Mayu and Lisa have put in their orders, the 3 of us seat ourselves near the front of the restaurant. Lisa and I idly chat, Mayu only giving the occasional nod until our meal arrives. Remember that Alexis is upstairs because she's been punished for making up a foul excuse for being late to work. Whereas Mayu and Lisa, despite them being even late to work, have a valid reason because of Mayu's ankle. My mouth immediately waters when I take a peek at the steaming rice bowl. Ooh, lovely. Topped with generous heaps of grilled eel. Ooh, even better. The fresh cucumber, carrot and avocado, maybe not avocado, strips awaiting me under the eel are already tempting me, begging to be devoured before I move on to the main course. I glance over to see that Mayu and Lisa have ordered ramen and yakisoba, respectively. Exactly like they did yesterday. As one does. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's dig in. I'll grab a little bit of everything with my chopsticks to start. A few loose grains of rice falling back into the bowl. The neutrality of the sticky rice creates a perfect blend between the fresh flavours of the raw vegetables and the warm savoury tastes of the eel. Next, I grab a piece of eel alone. It was hard to tell last time because of the other textures, but the tender fish practically melts in my mouth. I almost want to cry, it's so delectable. Wow, this is delicious, you guys should try some too. Thanks for the offer, but the yakisoba always fills me up on its own. And I don't want to get bloated. No, thank you. Suit yourselves, more for me! More. I take another bite. Before I knew it, I cleaned out the entire bowl, leaving not a single clump of rice behind. I think I'm going to order another. It feels like my taste buds are ascending to heaven. The next bowl arrives as quickly as the first, to my pleasure. I stuff my gullet with as much delicious wagyu don as I can handle until only half of it remains. I don't think I can finish this. Why not save the leftovers for Alexis? I'm sure she'd like that. Isn't that kind of gross? Who would want to eat someone else's leftovers for lunch? Alexis would. I'm not joking. Yeah, I'm not joking either. I'll just buy another one and put this one in the fridge. I'll pick up the leftovers to go and buy a third helping of yaki don for Alexis. The irony of the situation isn't lost on me. With lunch behind us, everyone returns to the office. I immediately head over to Alexis' desk and find her occupied with a sprite work on for the character with what would have now decided to call Mazari Loves Company. The redhead ruffles her hair in frustration after erasing part of her line work. Maybe me buying her lunch will help her brighten up. Here, this is for you. Oh, Flare, you shouldn't have. What is it? Urangi don. Surprisingly, it's really good. I had it today as well. Wow, really? Urangi don? How did you know this was one of my favourites? It was pretty obvious, actually. Yes, I guess so, huh? Hey, are those your leftovers? Yeah, what about them? If you don't mind, can I have them? I haven't eaten yet today, you know, so I'm really, really hungry. I can perfectly imagine Lisa laughing at me in my mind. Alexis really will do anything for some delicious food, won't she? Yeah, I guess. Knock yourself out. Yay, you really know how to treat a lady, Flare, thank you. You really know how to treat a gluttonous lady. If you say so, it's not like I'm doing anything though. I'll sit the food down a safe distance away from the computer. Well, that's all I came here for. I'll be going now. Alexis gently smiles at me as she wheels over to the food containers. See you later, Flare. With that, I head back to my desk to resume work for the day. They've both fallen out again, oh dear. Calm down, Lisa. After giving it some thought, I can't help but feel Lisa is overstepping her boundaries. All she did was escalate the situation by stepping in needlessly. It's clear there's more going on beneath the surface. Listen, I understand that you have certain priorities to keep in mind, but sometimes you need to give your employees some time to cool down. Flare? You're the one who's always encouraging Alexis to misbehave and affirming her need to do whatever she wants in the moment. Hope you realise you bear responsibility for just... What? We had nothing to do with this! Actually, we did, you know. How could it be my fault when you're the one who punished her for being late? Wasn't that the reason this all happened in the first place? Woman turns to face me completely, brushing her raven hair aside almost matter-of-factly. Is that even possible? You clearly don't know Alexis as well as I do, so I can't expect you to know this, I suppose. You need to be hard on Alexis. If you aren't her best, she won't learn her lesson. At worst, she'll exploit your complacency. Believing she's somehow earned your approval to continue procrastinating like the hard-headed blank she is. Even if that's true, you don't always have to act like you're her mum or poke your nose at others' businesses. Can't you lay it off every now and then? What I'm saying is, it wouldn't hurt to show Alexis that you respect her as your co-worker once in a while. This is the real world, Flare. Respect must be earned, not assumed. And what small amount Alexis has had before has been revoked for good reasons. She has yet to prove she wants to change, so what else can I do except force to change onto her? I honestly don't know it's your place to make those kind of judgments, Lissa. I guess we'll never see eye to eye on this, then. As manager of this studio, I know what I need to do. Sensing that prolonging this discussion won't be fruitful, I decide to leave things on a bittersweet note. Well, it's your call to make. I'm sorry if I was overbearing with my opinion. I just hope things work out between the two of you. I do too. Is it an option that only appeases Mayu, or just leaves on a neutral ground? I'll be heading out too, Mayu. See you tomorrow. Okay. Goodbye, Flare. Hello there in the background. Without a turn and head out the door. Another day starts in... when I get to the office, seeing that everyone has arrived on time. Fortunately, it seems getting wasted to force neither Listen or Alexis to turn up late. Wonderful. The last meal before the sections diverge. Although I'm going to say this right now, that if you succeed in the mail section, like the mail minigame, this question won't appear up. So that's just something to keep in mind. Omo rice. The omo rice sounds good. You've got it. I take a seat at the table the others have gathered at. The food comes quicker than usual. Accompanying our order is a bottle of soju, which is promptly placed in front of Alexis. Alexis, I don't think drinking right now is a good idea. Bah! What do you know? Lisa's such a hypocrite. She makes all the rules she wants, but then thinks she's beyond them, as if she's somehow superior to the rest of us. We're playing by her rules. I mean, if she doesn't have to play by them, why should I? I could understand Alexis' train of thought, but still, drinking in the middle of a workday, no matter how you look at it, it's unreasonable and unsafe. You know, if she wasn't our boss, well, I'd smack her right in the face whenever she pulled stupid stuff like this. You get what I mean? Sure. The redhead takes a quick shot, her expression instantly souring as she puts the glass back down. Like, there isn't a thing in this damn world I wouldn't do for that blank, and she's still... Actually, wait. Forget what I said, I take it back. She takes another shot, her brows frowning so tightly it appears painful. I remember that one time. It was crazy. With a totally straight face she asked me to... Well, let's just say it was way too kinky for my liking. Although it doesn't seem entirely appropriate for the question, my curiosity gets the better of me. Kinky, you say? What exactly did she ask you to do? Woman chokes down a few more shots before sighing. Oh, Flare, I never realised you were such a... Okay, get your mind out of the gutter, don't overthink it, okay? Alexis, I think you've had enough to drink. Maybe. Oh, you're right, I stopped drinking. All of the alcohol seems to quiet Alexis down, so we eat in peace until our break is over. I'm shocked and oddly impressed to find out a drunk Alexis works much harder and more efficiently than a sober one. She even offers to take up a few of my usual daily routines for once, in an apparent rare moment of guilt. The rest of the day is as ordinary as possible. Before I leave for the night, however, I decide to take a peek around the office. Hey guys, does anyone know where Lissa is? No, sorry. Alexis peers towards Lissa's office, and I follow her gaze. Pretty sure she's still holed up in there. Speaking of which, how much longer is she going to hang out in there? Doesn't she realise we're already done for the day? The redhead suddenly motions for Mayu and me to come a little closer to her. I bet she's... Before Alexis can finish speaking, yeah. Mayu gives her a scything glare, wiping any semblance of cheerfulness from her object of anger's expression. I have no idea what just happened. I wanted to ask about it, but don't want to incur anyone's wrath, so I'll let it go. Actually, you know what, guys? I'll go check on her. So why don't you both head on home? You sure about that? Yeah, trust me, she'll love it. I totally used to surprise her like this all the time when we lived together. It was great. Well, alright. I guess we'll get going then. Good night, Alexis. Mayu. Good night. Alexis burges toward Lissa's office and I head out the door alongside Mayu. I'm a few steps down the stairs when I hear the clash of rough and tumble sounds of a scuffle. A few moments later I hear a distressed shriek called out, Alexis, what the hell? Why'd you turn off my computer? There's a loud exchange between who I assume to be Lissa and Alexis, but it soon quiets down. By some miracle, I convinced myself not to stick my nose where it doesn't belong, wanting my legs to keep going. Yeah, let's just keep going back home, okay? Let's just go home. Oh gosh, they're so delicious. You gotta try out these crackers, Flare. They taste like freaking heaven. I can't help but wonder if she's the type of drunk who suffers their face until they pass out. The evidence is presently pointing towards... Yes. What if I tell you that you'll get £10 if you keep this up? The redhead slowly drops the plate onto the table. That's ludicrous. I'll have you know that I'm in the best shape of my life. Besides, these crackers are to die for. Suddenly she hunches forward over the table, cradling her stomach in her arms and letting out a low groan. Oh god. Without a second to waste, she jumps up and rushes towards the bathroom. The seriousness of the situation instantly sobers me up, and I swiftly follow after her. Alexis, are you okay in there? How do you feel? There's no response, so I decide to give her a moment to herself just in case. 3 minutes later, the woman re-emerges, obviously in distress. So much for heaven. It all came out like... there's no need to get into the precise details, I believe you. With one hand resting on her forehead, Alexis leans against the wall. I feel so awful. I think I should head on home now. Time to call it a night, you know. In your condition? That doesn't seem very safe. Well, I mean... Blank, what else am I supposed to do? I'll take you home. You'd really do that for me? Of course. Oh, you're so sweet, Flare. That's what I like about ye. Even a drunken stupor, Alexis's flirtious comment sends tingles down my spine and heats up my core. If anything, it's a little more charming than usual. We should probably head out soon. This headache is driving me nuts. Spoiler for later. Yeah, we can leave straight away if you want. That said, shouldn't we let the others know first? No, they can figure it out on their own. It's not like I need their permission to leave. Yeah, but it's just reassurance, Alexis. It lets them know that we're out of the premises. Not just leave them to wonder, I wonder where Flare and Alexis have gone. Alright. Come on, Flare. Let's go. Spoken in true Mario fashion. Yep. Let's go. I escort Alexis down the streets, catching her whenever she stumbles. Sometimes I'm lucky and she falls in my direction to begin with. Needless to say, I'm glad that I offered to take her home. She could barely move in a straight line, let alone walk. Suddenly, a realization hits me. This entire mess could have been avoided in the first place if we just called a taxi. What's done is done, however, and we should almost be at our destination. Anyway, I'll write off the incident as a moment of poor, drunk decision making. Here, lean on me, okay? Just follow my lead. Okay. Slowly and carefully, we continue down the city block as onlookers shoot us crest, judgmental looks. Alexis' eyes drift towards them, and her lips pull into a slight frown. Don't worry about them, keep moving. Where do we go from here? The woman points past the intersection. Around the corner, should only be a few more minutes away. Keeping Alexis close to me, I'll follow her instructions and carefully proceed down the street. As we round the corner, a man comes out of nowhere and pulls her arm away from me mid-step. It happened so fast I barely recognize it. Hey there, gorgeous. You're looking mighty fine tonight. That guy's got nothing to prove. Come with me, I'll make sure to treat you right. Get away from me, you! You creep! In an instant, Alexis winds back her free arm and punches a man's lights out. He stumbles to the ground, knocked out cold. A rush of emotions fill me. Surprise, fear, impression, and the slightest hint of arousal. Okay, as soon as I have my mind about me, I turn to Alexis. Are you okay? He didn't hurt you, did he? The woman falls to her knees and places her hands over her eyes, trembling uncontrollably. Flare, I'm so scared. I'm taken aback by how quickly her attitude shifts. To say the least, one moment she has the fiery grumpton to knock a man out, and now she's panicking. Alexis, okay, I'm here with you. I peer at the frail, plaid-wearing man. He won't be waking up any time soon. Not one bit. It looks like Alexis is going down on... Anyways, that guy's not exactly gone, but he's not going to be coming after us anytime soon. Here, let me help you up. Alexis takes my hand and I slowly help her to her feet. Then, I rest my hands on her shoulders until she gains her composure and strength to stand on her own. We're almost at your place, right? Come on, I'll take you home. No, please. I don't want to be alone right now. Don't leave me, please. Don't leave me. Alexis, there's no way I could ever leave you alone like this. If you prefer, we can go to my place instead. We passed it a few minutes ago on the way here. What do you think? Yeah. As we walk in the direction of my place, Redhead presses close to me, clinging onto my arm. Wow. We can see where this is going if you watch the second episode. With time seemingly passing at an impossibly quick pace, we reach the entrance of my apartment within minutes. We walk into the living room and I immediately lie Alexis onto the couch. I sit next to her and rub her back in the hope that she'll calm down and hopefully sober up a little bit. There, I'm here for you. I part her bangs and wipe away the few tears that have trickled down her cheeks. Her face draws nearer to me, her lips quivering and cheeks still flushed from elaboration. I know I said that wrongly. With how close we are, I can't help but take note of each of her delicate features. It hurts to see someone who usually so perky has woken up. Flare? She gazes deep into my eyes, then, without another word, her arms stretch out towards me, and her soft, vaguely sweet lips melt against mine. Wow. Isn't that lovely? Aww. I couldn't care less about the sour taste of alcohol that's dripping off of her tongue. I want to shoulder her burdens and run wild with this. See how far it can go. Ouch. Saliva slowly drips from the space between our lips as Alexis draws away from me. She stands up from the couch and disrobes herself to her lingerage. Okay. She slightly beckons me forward with her finger as she backs through the open bedroom door. Slowly and surely she unhooks and... Okay. Covering her... Okay. The best striptease of my life. For a moment I considered this might not be a good idea, but when the woman winks at me, I just throw my clothes off as far as I can and follow her into the welcoming darkness. When the morning comes, I wake up with the most jarring hangover I've had to date. My brain is a mess of static, leaving me to wonder what happened the day before. The last thing I remember, Alexis gave me another shot and then went to the bathroom. That long ago, huh? When I turn around on the bed, to my surprise, next to me is a redhead in question, sleeping in barely anything. My first question is whether or not we've had that, but that seems so unrealistic. I had to pinch myself to prove that this isn't a dream. I'm not complaining, of course. This is probably the best thing that's ever happened to me. I immediately lie back down and cozy up next to her, caressing her arm until I find myself lulled to sleep once more. I wake up yet again. Somehow it's already 11:15. Even with the both of us still okay, Alexis is snuggled up next to me, half awake, in an attempt to fall asleep once more. I shake her, swiftly bringing her to her senses. Alexis! Alexis, is already close to 11, we should probably get up. Shut up, I'm trying to sleep. A little annoyed, I try to budge her up once more. Redhead rolls onto her back and faces me, visibly irritated. Stop it, what do you want? It's morning, don't you think it's time to wake up? I mean, don't you want to eat something nice? I'll make breakfast if you wake up. Jeez, Flare, I worked hard yesterday, you know. Give me a break this once. But the earlier you get out of bed, the longer we have to hang out and do stuff. Don't you want to do something fun today? It's the weekend. What do you say? All of a sudden, Alexis jots up and turns back around on the bed. God, you're being annoying. Just let me sleep more. Can't you see that I'm super hungover? Without another word, she pulls the covers over herself, putting a physical barrier between us. Okay, I'm sorry for nagging. I was honestly trying to be helpful. Me too. I decide to give Alexis another hour to laze around. I stand up, grab some clothes, and jump into the shower. 10 minutes later, I dried off and ready to prepare myself for the day, although I'm not sure how it would go with my surprise guest still hanging around. An hour passes, I even have time to make pancakes for brunch. Even so, Alexis is still lying in bed. I carefully walk over and gently shake her. Alexis! What do you want, Flare? Come on, it's time to get up. You're such a wet blanket. The redhead sits upright and rubs her temple. This freaking sucks. She finally rolls out of bed in a half-naked glory and readjusts her undergarments. After stretching, she slunders out into the living room like a free spirit that she is. Oh, safely, I'm kind of hungry, like viciously hungry. You got anything to do? We offered up food an hour ago, and yet now you're like this? Alexis casually begins rummaging through my fridge and cupboard. Nope, bland and wretched. Cereal? No thank you. What the hell, where's all the good stuff, Flare? All you have are boring snacks. You literally can't even throw a party with this crapola. Turning away from the kitchen area, the woman faces me. Give me the unhealthiest piece of junk food you got. I have some instant ramen, I guess. I don't really buy any junk food. Lame. Yeah, we're the ones lame for the ones who are not buying junk food and actually buying food which have vitamins in them, Alexis. Are you like this every morning? Alexis instantly glares at me. What do you mean like this? Nothing, I wasn't thinking. So how about I make you something like I said I would? No, it's okay. Why don't we go for a snack run instead? Right now? Yeah, come on, it'll be fun. I'm, like, really starving anyway. Alright, we can do that. Just put some clothes on, please. The redhead pulls on the same clothes she wore the day before, soon after we leave for the convenience store. As we walk, Alexis remains beside me, tightly clinging onto my arm with both of her hands in much the same way she did yesterday. I can't help but be reminded of the way she took down that man last night. Hey Alexis, do you study martial arts or take self-defense class or something? She stops moving and turns to me perplexed. What? No, why'd you ask? How much do you remember about yesterday? More than enough. Where exactly are you going with this? It's just that guy yesterday. I've never seen anyone knock another person out so quickly. Alexis slightly twists my arm, causing a sting of pain and cuts me off. Don't you dare say another word. That worthless piece of blank deserved exactly what he got and more. Anyway, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Sorry, I was just curious. I didn't mean to upset you. It's fine, let's keep moving. Okay. I think the words physically overbearing is Alexis. Psychologically overbearing is what Mayu was. And Lissa, I have a feeling it's going to be kind of both scenarios. Although I don't disagree that the man in question was a scumbag, something about Alexis' words feels off. Yeah, I can't blame her for her opinion. It must be unnerving for a woman to live alone in the city and be subjected to unwanted attention on the regular. If anything, I'm glad that she knows how to defend herself, even if it feels a bit excessive. Yeah, the word excessive is very important. We continue towards the grocery store that's situated on the corner somewhere past restaurants and clothing banquets. Before we get much further, however, Alyssa tugs on my sleeve. Hey Flare, what is it? You know what we should do? Go to the store? Nah, that was so like 9 minutes ago. We should go to the pier. We gotta get some ice cream. Wait, what? I thought you wanted to buy snacks. Well, duh, of course I do. I was just thinking about it. And the snacks they sell on the boardwalk are much more satisfying. Seriously, Flare, they have all the sweets you could ever ask for. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, sweets are sweet. But the pier is literally in the opposite direction. Oh, come on, you've got legs and we're in no hurry. It'll be worth a walk, trust me. Well, if you want to. This should be a together thing, you know. We've been married for a few years and stuff like that. We should come to terms that this should be a joint effort, a together thing, not just one person making all the decisions. And that's talking about certain abusive relationships out there, where there's only one person in control and the other person is just hung on by the hook. We turn around and head towards the pier. After 40 or so minutes, the shoreline appears in view. The salty fragrance of the sea fills the air. That's a nice view. Come on, let's see if they're selling fudge today. Sorry, they sell fudge here? I mean, sure. Without further ado, we step onto the boardwalk. I also have to say that Alexis is the most fickle person out of all of these. I can't believe a redhead on her wild snack spree, buying all of the sweets and junk food she can ask for, from ice cream and cotton candy to fries. It's a hefty dose of carnival food. Yeah, carnival food. I was supposed to say carnivorous food or something like that. Which is frightening to think about, considering it's supposed to be our lunch. See, this is what I'm talking about. A bit of cheese drips down the woman's lips and she alternates between taking bites of a giant pretzel and chatting up a storm. This is so much better than the boring stuff you have at your place. Well, yeah, my cupboards aren't a candy shop. Don't worry, we're not fixing that. You know, I'd love to come here every day. Wouldn't that be amazing? That doesn't sound very realistic, but it'd get expensive. Just let a girl dream, please. Sorry. I guess I sound like a bit of a downer. We're sounding realistic, protagonist. Anyway, are you feeling any better? Is your hangover gone? Yeah, it feels like it just floated away, dissipated to thin air like magic. Yes. Miraculously, that's the kind of thing that junk food does. It kind of seeps away hangovers. As she takes the last bite of pretzel, she makes a dramatic gesture in an air mimicking a magician performing a trick. Having you for company probably helped a lot. Not even a pill or two can make me this happy so quickly. A pill? Not that kind of pill, silly. I mean painkillers. You should have specified that first. I take a painkiller. Don't say I take a pill, because for the first few seconds before saying you taking a painkiller, people will probably assume what that pill is for. She tugs me closer by the arm, gently tracing a finger around my exposed skin. Okay. You're all I need. Yeah, I'm glad you're feeling better. Get off me. Do we have a spatula or something so we can scrape between the both of us? Although this situation feels a bit strange, I'm thankful that Alexis got me out of the house once. Usually I'll be holed up in my apartment watching anime right about now. Hee, shall we move on then? Lead the way. Lead the way, adventurous woman. Adventurous personnel. We aimlessly wander around the boardwalk together, jumping from activity to activity while catering to Alexis' every whim. Alexis would be like, look at this boring man. Flare, looky here. The room points to a bulletin board with all of the movie showtimes and posters for the outdoor theatre to pin to it. Well, theatre pin to it. I think we should watch, well, why don't you choose for us? This was your idea though. We don't see anything you like. Not really, just pick for me, won't you? Pretty please? Alright, sure. How about Moon? It starts in an hour or so. Perfect, we'll wait until then. The two of us joke around until it's time for the film to start, ensuring not to wander too far away. I buy 2 bags of popcorn, one completely drenched in butter, just the way Alexis likes it, and another with a more reasonable amount for myself. I also purchased some sort of a chocolate bar just in case. With my arms nearly over capacity, I carry the treats back to our chairs in the back row. Alexis grins cutely while I hand over the treats. Oh, thanks so much, Flare. You're such a darling. No problem. Isn't this a beautiful night sky? As the sky grows darker, I say glows darker, the movie is finally projected onto the centre of the screen, leaving white space on each of the sides. It gives off a pleasantly nostalgic and retro atmosphere. The show begins jumping straight into the narrative with some good old exposition, sorry. Why do I call that as exploitation? There's not even an L within this word, exposition. Something about a huge company's marketing scheme to resolve an energy crisis. Then a shady looking man appears running on a treadmill. Somewhere in the middle of the film, I try to find that Alexis had fallen asleep, cranes a half-eaten bag of popcorn like it's a beloved plushie. I decide not to wake her, considering the fact that she must be exhausted. In the end, the movie is a delight. It even stimulates my mind with a few philosophical questions. As the projector flickers off, I shake Alexis awake. Hey Alexis, the movie's over! Huh? Oh, huh? What? How was it? Heh, you would know if you'd stayed awake. Oh, come on, you could have waken me up. At least give me the abridged version. Alright, if you insist. Well, the general plot is that there's an astronaut stationed on the moon, so he could process lunar rock and extract free energy for his company. Even though he's got everything he needs to survive up there, he's lonely, and he becomes depressed. If I say any more, I'll end up spoiling you. You should take the time to watch it yourself properly instead. Yeah, see, that right there's a problem. There wasn't any action, basically 0 characters, no real story to tell, not even some eye candy like Keanu Reeves. It was all just some dude living on his own, playing around and stuff like that. Totally not worth my time. There's nowhere near what happened. Oh please, the bottom line is boring, and that's all I need to know. I don't want to argue when I know it'll be pointless, as light-hearted as her tone of voice makes it all sound. I can't help but be annoyed by how critical she is of a film she's never seen. It's like throwing away a dress she's never tried on. Her reasons are completely unjustified. Whatever, let's just go get walking. I'll walk you home. Sure, at least the popcorn was amazing. Yeah, overly drenched with butter. Thankfully, it doesn't take too long to arrive at Alexis's place. As she steps inside the building, she holds out her arm to block me from entering with her. Don't take this personally, Flare. It's not that I don't want you to come in or anything. I want to know what this day meant to you first. Okay, the woman scuffles off into the distance as her cheeks turn red. I'm glad this came along because I'm thinking, well, at some point I do need to save. Right, so that was Mayu's ordeal. So let's go down and oversave this. We're just co-workers. I don't know. I really like you. It's the truth, I can't resist, Alexis. I know. It's because you've fallen for my glamorous good looks. Nah. I can't blame you at all. You've got sharp eyes. I can't say she's entirely wrong as about it is. I give a shy nod. Yeah, you know how it is. Hehe. I'm just glad you feel the same way. The redhead inches towards me and then gets on her tiptoes to plant a breathe to kiss on my lips. She tastes like butter and I love everything about it. Tell me when you're home safe and sound, okay? You don't want me to come in? No, not today. I changed my mind. You're okay with that, aren't you? Hehe. Right, sure. Goodbye, Flare. See you at work on Monday. Good night. See you then, Alexis. I wave goodbye as the woman steps through the door. Although I'm still adjusting to her quirks, some of which I find more than mildly annoying. The word mildly is mildly understating. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't happy about how our relationship is developing. I was just friendship. On Monday, I headed to the office and the workday seems to be returned to normal. There are no parties or anything to complain about. This gives each of us a post-release assignment. In my case, I asked to begin writing the bonus content as we promised to release for our latest title at a later date. Please get it done by the end of the week at the latest, Flare, although honestly I would prefer if you finished it by Wednesday. Alexis, you know what to do. We need those promotional illustrations and storefront graphics completed as soon as possible. The redhead pouts defiantly, refusing to meet her boss's gaze. Sure, guess I can do that, boss. Mayu, can you please go through the list of user feedback and improve the UI where possible? We need to implement those changes into a live build as soon as possible. We don't have any time to waste. Get to work, everyone. Listen, can I ask one question first? Well, alright. How are the reviews faring so far? This is why we've been tasked with this work. The woman folds her arms with dissatisfaction. Not bad, but not great either. There's been some complaints from players, mainly about the art quality being inconsistent at times and, most noticeably, the game's plot twist. Really? Oh, that's not good to hear. I agree, but there's nothing we can do at the moment. We'll have to wait and see how the rest of the month's reviews pan out. Overall, I believe they're mixed. I can't call the launch a failure quite yet though. Still, we'll salvage whatever profits we can, and that's where the extra content will come in. The visibility increase will be nice. Yeah, that makes sense. Is that all you can think about? The money? Alexis, now's not the time. Moving on, although it should go without saying, please stay on task today. We need everyone's effort to keep this office a well-oiled train. Of course, I understand. Effort? Yeah, right. I return to my desk to immediately get started. I want to ensure that I'm on top of my writing game. After all, I don't want to disappoint our fans anymore, and most importantly, I don't want to disappoint Lissa. An hour or two passes and I make steady progress. Thankfully, my task doesn't require a ridiculous amount of work. Strangely, however, not once has Alexis asked me for help today. I have to wonder if she's had a change of heart and has been working diligently on her own this entire time. I head over to her workspace just in case she needs something, but is too afraid to ask. Great. However, as I peek at her monitor, unsurprisingly, I find her falling around on the internet by watching random videos. Alexis, what are you doing? Alarmed, the redhead spins at her around her seat, her shoulders jolting into the air. Flare, when did you get here? See, I'm just doing research. Yeah, I'm researching reference materials for illustrations. I give the slacker a sidelong stare. Really? I never realised watching people play video games could be useful for art references. This job takes a lot of creativity and inspiration, you know. It doesn't hurt to learn how other people design video games. Yeah, even if that's true, you're creating static images, card art, that has nothing to do with videos or game design. No, just cut me some slack, Flare. Anyway, Lissa's going to be extremely peed off if she finds out. Hope you know. Be careful. Okay, thanks for looking out for me. Don't worry about it. You should get back to work soon. Right, I will. As I walk away, Alexis pulls up her drawing software and starts sketching out an illustration. Lovely. Good to hear. The next day I get back to business, resuming from where I left off. At this rate, I may very well meet Alyssa's unofficial Wednesday deadline. I walk over to the dispenser to make some coffee when Alexis gleefully stumbles towards me. Hey there, Alexis. Oh, Flare, how are you holding up? The woman suddenly sprints up to me and pecks me on the cheek. Startled, I take a step back, lowering my voice to a whisper. Where'd that come from? You know we're at work, right? Alexis slightly licks her lips. Okay. Shh, it's a secret. Thank you for all the things you've helped me with lately. It gives me such a rush, knowing that we can do things like this at work under... For goodness sakes. Yeah, but... I pause. I don't want the others to suspect us of having a relationship because of how oddly Alexis is behaving around me. Especially not Lissa. If she believes that there's something between us, we'll be in deep, deep trouble. Yes, exactly. Are you not happy to see me or something? No, I am. I'm grateful, in fact. It's just... I can't bring myself to tell Alexis to be cautious, to stop being so affectionate towards me. Knowing her, she'll take it the wrong way and cause a scene. Arguments with her don't end exactly well. Just... The woman begins to shrink backwards. No, never mind. It's nothing. I'm being silly. Hee, that's what I like about you, Flare. For goodness sakes. She takes steps forward to give me another kiss this time on the lips. That's great, but we should probably get back to work, you know. Alright, if you say so. We immediately return to our respective posts. What on earth is this going to be this time? In the afternoon, Alexis strolls beside me down the stairs on our way to lunch. Mayu and Lissa are already in line, waiting to carry their orders to the table. I bet those two already have fathomed out that the protagonist and Alexis are in some sort of relationship. Trying not to appear out of place, I follow their footsteps, standing in line and pretending not to notice Alexis behind me as not to attract any unwanted attention. We eventually order respective meals and all of us sit down at a table together. Alexis, completely unsubtle in her interaction, decides to sit herself right next to me with a huge grin. Luckily, Lissa is too busy conversing with Mayu to pluck out any incriminating details. Don't worry, she'll notice. Our food finally arrives and the four of us get ready to feast. Hey, Flare? Yeah? What is this? No! Won't you feed me, pretty please? Ugh, goodness sakes, what is with you? I almost spat out my food. I can't believe the words that are coming out of this woman's mouth in front of our co-workers. This is so embarrassing. For goodness sakes. As childish as the request is in a way, I can't help but find it equally adorable. It highlights Alexis' youthful charm. Besides that, I want to ensure that Alexis doesn't get into any more trouble with Lissa, and that means ensuring there's no argument. Without even realising, I find myself prioritising her well-being. Yeah, you Flare, you're so sweet. I gently take the fork out of her hand and then scoop up a big helping of Ugandan rice. In response, the redhead turns to face me and places both of her hands on her lap in anticipation. Careful now. She leans in to take a bite. Delicious. Your anger tastes so much better with... Oh, for goodness sakes. When you fit... You're not our baby! Yeah. As I go to scoop up another serving, Lissa and Mayu do an exceptionally poor job of hiding their utter shock and disgust. The most surprising part is that Lissa hasn't scolded us yet. Mayu, am I going insane or do you see this? You're sane. I don't know if I should fall over or hurl, though I suppose most of all, I want to walk away and pretend to erase this moment from my memory. Yeah, I agree. What's wrong with a public display of affection every once in a while? Lissa stands up from the table and Mayu swiftly follows her. With Alexis? Oh, please, Flare. Hope you feel embarrassed. That should be punishment enough. The women picks up their lunches to go before leaving us to our own devices. Don't worry about those wet blankets. They're just jealous because they don't know how awesome it feels to have someone as considerate as you taking care of them. Hehe, maybe. At the very least, I'm glad I get to spend more quality time with Alexis, so it's certainly worth the temporary awkwardness. By the end of the afternoon, Lissa slips out of the office without telling anyone, although I have no idea why. She never leaves her work behind unless there's an excellent reason. Regardless, I press on with my work in the hopes I can finish the script for the bonus scenarios by the end of the night. However, the sudden boom of pop music disturbs my concentration. Unsurprisingly, I trace the source of the noise straight to Alexis' desk. Unashamed and out in the open, Alexis is reading comics on her left monitor, while on the right she's watching Korean dramas. The woman is practically making as much noise as humanly possible. Pleh, what a blank, that's what she's getting for trying to be beside her. Mayu suddenly pushes out from her chair, glaring at me with a gaze that suggests I'm the one to blame, but somehow Alexis' bad behaviour is my fault. Deep down I almost agree with her. Turn off her computer. Flare, what the heck are you doing? I was watching that. Look around you. You're a distraction to everyone, and your attitude about all of this isn't helping either. If you honestly don't want to work, you should just leave for the day. Your childishness is dragging the rest of us down with you. Whatever. What do you know? Despite a rebellious tone of voice, Alexis turns on her seat and gets back to work, trying to be productive. On a whim, I reach into my pocket and pull some of the leftover candy from our date at the pier, place it on the woman's desk. Her gaze slowly drifts to the individually wrapped sweets. Here, maybe this help keep you focused. Your brain needs sugar to function properly. Am I supposed to be touched or something? What, you don't want the candy? I can always throw them away instead. No. Leave them here. There. Thanks. A thin yet charming smile breaks on her lips. With Alexis appeased and the office back to normal, I return to my desk to resume work for the remainder of the day. The next day, Lissa doesn't show up to work, and I can't help but feel concerned. She never called in, and she won't pick up any calls, even though I know she would want me to continue working, so I do. I turn on my computer to assess how our latest titles, reviews, and sales are doing on Lissa's behalf. 2 business days in, sales have been abysmal, and the reviews still haven't improved. The company is easily in the negative, taking into account the game's production costs and development time. Dozens of questions course through my mind. What went wrong with development? How did we fail so badly? Was it my fault for not writing a sufficiently engaging story? Is this failure the reason Lissa's isn't here? Has she given up on us? With no one else to turn to, I'll look to Alexis for solace. Hey Alexis, did you hear the news yet? About what? Here, I'll show you. It's nothing good though, unfortunately. I bring up the purchase statistics from our largest storefront. The sales numbers barely total over 1,000 copies. I'm starting to get worried. What do you think we should do, Alexis? Alexis? I turn to find the redhead frozen in shock. How is Lissa going to pay every single one of us? Will the offer still be around after this month? Will we still have our jobs? I thought things were going well. I mean, we work so hard, and this is what we get in return? Life is so freaking unfair. The woman's on the verge of tears. I can understand her frustration, and I can certainly share it. There's no need to panic yet. I'm sure we can figure something out if we all put our heads together. Besides, surely things will get better down the line. We have an entire month left to go. You don't know that for sure. She's right, I don't. Which is all the more reason for Lissa to make her return and take the reins. The team has no direction without her. You know what we should do? I'm listening. We should do something fun. Let's ditch work for today and go out. Just the 2 of us. No, this doesn't sound like a great idea at all. This sounds like the worst idea ever. But if we want the best ending with her, we'll have to go with the option that agrees with her most. Oh, Flare, you do that for me? The woman's dreamy eyes sparkle with delight as she rushes up to me. Preparing for a kiss, which I'll happily accept. Well, I want to spend time with you. I'm still not sure whether this is a good idea or not, though. Don't worry, my wonderful presence will completely melt all of your worries away. Not even Lissa can stand in our way. I promise I won't let that happen. Sorry. I can't tell if that's a good or bad thing. Her intent seems oddly ambiguous. Nevertheless, I could very well use a break. Sometimes writing too much can feel like psychological torture. When you run out of ideas, it feels like you're trapped in your own head. Just to check, how long will we be out? until I think we're ready to come back. I mean, we'll have so much fun that you'll completely lose track of time. Doesn't it sound fun? Yeah, kind of. Yeah, so come on, let's get going. There's no time to waste. She grabs me by the arm and forcefully lunges me towards the exit like I'm a toy. Before I knew it, we're halfway down the stairs. Mayu's going to tell Lisa about this. For our first stop, Alexis takes me to a diner. I pay for both of us, of course, and she eats 3 plates of pancakes. Next, she decides to head over to a department store just for the heck of it. I begin to wonder whether even hanging out like this is meaningful. I'm not even close to having fun, even by Alexis' standards. Aside from that, nothing done so far is remotely beneficial to either of us. Say, Alexis, don't you think it's about time we head back to the office? We have a lot of work left to finish today. It's kind of hilarious that you want to be working with Alexis when Alexis is even... Don't you think you're going to earn the Employee of the Month award just because you're a goody-goody who does everything your boss tells you to? How noble of you, Flare. You've convinced me of the errors of my ways. I see the light. It's not like that, Alexis. I don't know why Alexis is meaning at first. I thought she abandoned the team, but then I realised she was probably sick. Knowing her, she's probably working from home right now. Yeah, I bet. It must be so hard getting off. The redhead abruptly stops mid-sentence and averts her gaze, biting her bottom lip. What do you mean getting off? Never mind, who cares anyway? Lisa can take care of herself like responsible adult you think she is. Yeah, well, alright. Talking about her puts a bad taste in my mouth. Find something sweet and sugary for me, Flare. Hehehe. I thought Mayu was demanding, but Alexis is overly demanding, overbearing. Throughout the afternoon, Alexis and I continue our improv date by wandering around the city. I accompany her, she tries on new clothes, window shops, and practically eats as many snacks as she can get her hands on. The redhead pushes and pulls me according to her desires. She tests me, makes demands, and kisses me whenever she feels the urge. It's unnerving at times, but I'm learning to overlook her bad tendency to beg. And also, I'm learning how to enjoy my time with her. I don't want to be like Alyssa, who reprimands Alexa for being unapologetically her own person. I want to cherish her for who she is, even if she may drive me crazy sometimes. I want to make the most of our relationship, or whatever this is. Oh, Flare. Lately, I think about the company and, well, my job. There's one thing I want to ask you. Your answer is really important to me. Her small, delicate hand shakes in mine. What do you want to know? I need to know that you really want me. Please, tell me that you want me. Oh dear. You already know what I want. You already know that I want to be around you, silly. Doesn't that go without saying? No, I'm asking whether you want me. There's a difference. Yes, I want you. No, that's too easy. Tell me that you want me in your own words. I said it, didn't I? I want you 1,000,000 times over, I want you. Why are you asking me this all of a sudden anyway? Ouch. The woman caresses my left hand before suddenly pinching it as strongly as she could. Ouch, what the heck was that for? Say it like you mean it. Alexis, I want you. Say it right now. Alexis, I want you. No, tell me. Oh gosh, not the empty eyes! Oh, that's so creepy. The redhead turns to me with an ominous expression, her face innocent in a distorted way. She pinches me again. Annoyed, I finally pull my hand away from hers. The hell, where is this coming from? You haven't told me, but I want you to hear. Well, want to hear yet. Alexis, I want you. I want you so badly. I want to hear you plead. I give it one last try with as much vigor as I can reasonably muster. Alexis. Okay, Alexis, I want you. No, tell me properly from the bottom of your heart. How do I know that you're the one for me if you can't tell me that you truly want me? What do you want from me, Alexis? I want you to tell me that you want me and mean it. Can't you just do this one little thing for me? This is the worst decision I have ever made. I decided to do exactly what Alexis does to me every time she's dissatisfied. Ignore her. So, I turn my back to her. I don't care what she does or if she throws a tantrum. I'm not going to console her. I'm not going to give her the time of day in the slightest. Flare? Hello? Are you listening to me at all? Flare? Flare? Haha. Yeah, you're probably just putting a prank on me, right? I mean, of course I know that you want me. That's what you're telling me, right? Flare, why are you doing this to me? Talk to me, please. I start walking in the direction of the office. Wait, where are you going? Alexis runs up to me in a panic and clings onto my shoulder. The two of us walking in silence.